So this is like my honest to God reaction to this video, and I'm really excited to watch it. Let's check it out.
In World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King Classic, there are a plethora of different enemies trying to kill you, obviously, but the big bad Lich King and his mindless Scourge are easily the most formidable threat you'll face in this frozen wasteland.
Of course we are.
I mean, his name is literally on the box. But this faction of undeath is more than just fumbling zombies. From formidable liches to malevolent vampires and Death Knight warlords, the Scourge has a little bit of everything to turn all of
These animations
Azeroth
are so
into
cool.
a rotten wasteland. My name is PlatinumWoW, and let me give you my interpretation of the most important enemies you'll face in Northrend.
I'm late boy today. What's the agenda? We're finishing out the heroic clear.
Let's start off with one of the most iconic types of foes who lead these zombie forces, Liches. Liches are powerful necromancers who are in a league of their own when it comes to their dark magic. In life, these spellcasters devoted themselves to necromancy and would stop at nothing in their thirst for power.
Remember, people thought we'd get that as a class.
Iconic and powerful Lich is Kel'Thuzad, who in life proved his worth by pledging his soul to the Lich King and formed the Cult of the Damned. I mean, how can you expect a guy with a name as evil sounding as Kel'Thuzad to not praise some dark master? Anyways, he helped spread the plague of undeath across the Eastern Kingdoms, but would ultimately perish at the hands of Arthas. You know, before he went crazy.
Can always use another Death Knight.
Coleman, thank you so much for the sub, continuing to be a Death Knight of our Scourge as we watch a video about the Scourge. Any primers in the chat? Thank you so much, Coleman. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Death means little to a practitioner of necromancy like Kel'Thuzad.
That's right.
Your petty magics are no challenge to the might of the Scourge.
There he is.
Later, he would be raised into a powerful Lich for his service to the Scourge,
and loot him every week.
A fitting new form for a devoted worshipper such as himself. These grand pledges to a darker power in order to become a Lich is commonplace among the Scourge. For example, the second boss in the dungeon Draktheron Keep is Novos the Summoner, who was granted his Lich form when he carved out his own still beating heart and offered it to his master to show his unwavering devotion to the Scourge. Brutal.
Damn.
Another characteristic of Liches are their phylacteries. You see, when you kill a Lich, they don't die. Their souls go into their phylactery where they will recover and spawn once again. The only way you can kill one of these masters of necromancy is to destroy their phylacteries. We defeated Kel'Thuzad at the end of Classic WoW, but accidentally gave his phylactery to an agent of the Scourge instead of destroying it, and that is the lore reason why we're fighting him again in Wrath of the Lich King. So hopefully we can learn from our mistake and
then when we fight him again now, it's in the Shadowlands, so I guess it's different because he's dead, but he's not dead. But he's dead. Right?
You know, actually destroy his key to survival.
Take my heart, Daddy Arthas.
But Liches are not the only commanders of the Scourge. The Sand Lane are vampiric undead elves who have orchestrated a multitude of horrific events on Northrend in the name of the Scourge. They've commanded armies in the Borean tundra, held council with the Vrykul in the fjord, raised monolithic flesh giants in Zoldrak, called forth the spirit of Archmage Arugal, and secretly disguised themselves as that one guy in your dungeon group who constantly goes AFK. The origin of these elves is when Kael'thas Sunstrider and his soldiers followed Illidan to the Frozen Throne to defeat Arthas during the events of Warcraft 3. Spoilers, but Illidan loses, and the members of his forces are slain, and some of these slain elves...
Oh, so someone's saying we actually kill Kel'Thuzad this time, because that's why we go into the down phase. I see. See that? Lore in the fight. That's good shit.
...are then raised as Darkfallen, which are basically just undead elves. And, oh yeah, these undead elves also turned into vampires. Throughout your journey through Northrend, you'll slay many of these Darkfallen, but during the Ice Crown Citadel raid, you'll learn that they are very similar to Liches, in that death is totally inconsequential to them.
Foolish mortals. You thought us defeated so easily.
That's a badass animation.
The Sand Lane are the Lich King's immortal soldiers. Now, you shall face their might combined.
The ruler of the vampires is Blood Queen Lanethel, who raised her vampiric followers to fight once more. Lanethel was once one of Kael'thas's followers, but now eagerly helps to command the Scourge forces on behalf of the Lich King, and her Darkfallen act as agents, leaders, ambassadors, and accountants.
Everyone wanted the
Scourge.
Sand Lane.
What? What do you
We all wanted the Sand Lane as a playable race, and people really thought it was going to happen for a while. But I don't really see it ever happening anymore.
mean constructing a giant statue of me flexing in front of the Citadel made of Serenite isn't in the budget? You are fired.
Accountants, yeah.
I've saved the Scourge's most dangerous weapon for last. The Lich King personally raised these warriors who in life showed great tenacity and in death would embrace their new existence as powerful members of his army.
All that I am, anger, cruelty, vengeance, I bestow upon you, my chosen knight. I have granted you immortality,
So that you may herald in a new dark age for the Scourge.
The Death Knights learn
The
to
best.
harness their new schools of magic to bring death
The
to
best
their
of the
living
best.
enemies. They have the ability to harness the powers of blood and bone to satiate themselves in combat and control it to bolster their defenses.
The best class in the game. Easily.
They've learned to control the powers of frost, but you may be wondering, how are they any different from frost mages? Well, frost mages just learn to harness the power of frost magic, but Death Knights literally are frozen to their core. Ice
right.
flows through their undead veins, and they can inflict the same bitter cold against their enemies. And finally, they have learned to wield the powers of necromancy. Of course, with a wave of their hand, they can spread infectious diseases, rot their enemies from the inside out, and raise corpses.
We do it all.
And you know what? Now is a good time to cover some of the other undead in the Scourge ranks that they can summon. Now, none of these have any particularly interesting characteristics, so let's just go through them quickly. Ghouls, zombies. Geists, zombies. Zombies, zombies. Abominations, multiple zombies stitched together. And Plague Eruptors, zombies, but also filled with blight and will explode on their enemies.
Sounds about right.
The Death Knight starting zone has players destroy the Scarlet Enclave in the Plague Lands, and at the end of the quest line, the Death Knights of Acheris are broken free from the Lich King's control.
This is still, in my opinion, the best starting quest line for any class in the game. I don't think it gets better than the Death Knight starting quest line. I've done it hundreds of times. I freaking love it.
Rejoin their former factions.
Lol,
But
zombies,
despite
zombies, zombies.
wrestling
Yeah,
out of
basically.
control of their master, Death Knights are still conditioned to be weapons of destruction. They must suffer the consequences.
There we are.
And take the Warlock's place as one of the most edgy classes you can play in the game. Probably the most harmful affliction
Hell yeah, we're
Death
more edgy
Knights
than
are
Warlocks.
wrought with is something called eternal hunger. You see, if a Death Knight doesn't inflict suffering or death on a regular basis, they will go through an immeasurable amount of pain, and their psyche will break, causing them to go on a blood-crazed murderous frenzy.
give in to the darkness, Death Knight.
And this right here is the reason I have to raid every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern time. This right here is I get the itch as a Death Knight. I have to kill, so I need to enter a raid every morning and just obliterate everything that moves or walks in there. It's just part of me being a Death Knight.
All suffering to the conquering
Confirmed.
shit.
Yeah, but you only play
But
Death
thankfully,
Knight, Sam.
Those
Exactly.
crazy Death Knights, they're working with us and will inflict that suffering on our enemies. Right? Oh, he's coming right for me! Now, only the Death Knights of Acheris were freed from the Lich King's
Yeah, okay,
grasp.
sure,
But
Jeffrey
during your
Dahmer.
adventures, you'll face Death Knights of equal power who still fight for their dark overlord. So now that you know all about the Scourge's most dangerous foes, let's defeat them. Because out of all of the enemies you'll face in Northrend, the Scourge is
Badass.
the most important in World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King Classic.
Amazing, man. These Platinum WoW videos are so damn good. So damn good. And you know, that one specifically just...
Come, let us lay waste to this realm.
Thank you so much for the follow, Zariaz. Thank you so much. Welcome to our Scourge, as we just finished the video out about the Scourge. I do appreciate that.